What is going on, everybody, and welcome to night number 2 of the OA Sourcing Challenge. This is the night that is fun. We get to go through some leads and we get to talk about them. And then, of course, we're going to be giving out some your prizes here in a couple of days. And as usual, during these OA Sourcing Challenges, I am joined by my perspicacious co-host, Nate McAllister. Been using Word a day toilet paper, and it's paying off. So
that is paying off. I'm gonna have to
yeah,
Google what it is after the show, but it
yeah,
sounds flattering, so I
it
appreciate it.
is.
That's
Yeah,
good.
you're
Thank you.
welcome.
But yeah, this is
Uh,
gonna be the big night, guys. This is the we're gonna actually break down some of the leads. I believe it looks like every single lead submitted, except for 1, 2, 3, gave us the approval to go over them. So we have hand-picked a few that we want to go over live, but we will wait for a few more people to hop in here. We are live on YouTube, and we are live. Where else are we live? Facebook, the
yep.
FBA Today Facebook group, and yeah, we're live in a few places here.
Yeah, absolutely. Kevin, what's going on from Lakeland? Not too far away. Hey, Ashley, what's going on? Ashley from Iowa, and Tanya and Steve the P. What's going on, everybody? Glad you guys are here. Like I said, or like Nate said, we'll give this another minute or two, and then we'll get rocking and rolling here.
In the meantime, if this is your first time on Chris's YouTube channel, if you're watching it over on YouTube, hit subscribe. He deserves it. He is one of the best content creators. No, not one of the best content creator on YouTube for online arbitrage. So go hit subscribe there. If you're on Facebook, go type in Clear the Shelf and subscribe to Chris. You will be doing yourself a huge favor. What else? Paul says, Nate sounding much more clear tonight. Yes, thank you. I literally came into my actual office here to have better quality. The quality last night was not good, so got my what's it called, SM7B Shure mic. This is my happy place for webinars and content.
Yeah. I almost pulled the trigger on one of those the other day. I love my Rode mic, but I
Just be
almost pulled the
prepared.
trigger on that.
Be prepared to buy a whole bunch of other stuff though.
Yeah,
Like
that's
you have
what kept me from doing it.
Yeah, you have to get like a sound what's it called, like some sort of compressor thing. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Tala says, please cover category ungating. That is not something that we're going to cover specifically tonight.
I'll
Yeah,
tell you what, I can answer that question really quickly. I'll give you the generic answer.
yeah, let's
Okay.
do that. Let's do that while
Uh,
we're waiting for everybody to come in.
so the generic answer is you need to find a distributor that sells the products that you want to get ungated in. You need to buy at least 10 of them, and then you need to submit that to Amazon after properly annotating the invoice and things like that. That's as difficult as the process is. Now, you might hit some road bumps, like Amazon says, no, you're not going to get ungated this time. You just have to be a little bit more hard-headed than they are, and kind of beat your head against that wall. But it's all the more difficult it is. Yeah, the 10 can be of the same ASIN. They can be of different ASINs in the same category. 10, or they can be different ASINs of the same brand. Just needs to be 10 ASINs altogether. Let's see here. Have I ever used Variation Wizard to make new ASINs to sell? Me personally, no. I don't typically add variations. I don't make too many listings. I have made a couple of listings recently, but none of them were variations. They were all new to the Amazon catalog. All right, Mike from Colorado, what's going on? All right, so we've got 55 people now. I would imagine we could probably go over a few leads. I know we were gonna keep this a little short this evening, so you guys can get back to work, or maybe watching a little bit of television. But let me share my screen and we'll go over a couple of leads here.
Let's do it. We got a decent amount of leads, but the chances, if you submitted a lead, of winning a prize are very good. We did not get nearly as many leads as we did when we did the net profit one. So we just didn't have as many competitors as we did on that one. So you guys, if you submitted, guys and girls, if you submitted, be on the lookout for an email. If you did win, we will just need your PayPal information, and then we will be passing that along to Tactical Arbitrage, and they will be sending out those prize monies, amounts, whatever it is. But what's a good word for not having a lot of words?
That's a good question. I also am missing the word for that.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about a couple of leads. I pulled out a few of them that I liked. Now, what I did notice is this time around that a lot of folks did tactical. They did tactical arbitrage scans. There was not as much manual sourcing as the last time we did this, and so that was nice to see. So this first lead was this one was sourced in one of my favorite methods. It was going and pulling data from Keepa, so pulling ASINs based on maybe what price point or maybe a BSR range or a number of different factors that you can use, and then running them through reverse search in tactical arbitrage. I like to call this the shotgun method of reverse search because you get to kind of just grab a ton of ASINs and pull them in. And it's one of my favorite methods of sourcing with tactical arbitrage. Now, this one is also something that has a variation. We can see that this one here, the gray with the dog on the side in large, extra large, this one is $17.98 on sale over at Columbia. And if we run over to Amazon, we can see that we've got a match here. It's the titanium color or the gray color in large, extra large. And right now it's at $39. So based on $17.98. And let's see here. I do have a month's worth of storage. I left out any prep fees or anything like that. And I also left out shipping to Amazon fees, although those would be pretty low on this particular item. You're looking at about $8.98 in profit on this, which I think is respectable. Nice 50% ROI. This is also currently ranked 54,000 and a half in clothing, shoes, and jewelry, which is a really good sales rank. But of course, there are some variations. However, I liked this one. If we go down to Keepa and look at the variations, what we can see here is we can see that this one sells about 10%. But the number of reviews has been pretty steady and kind of ticking up a little bit here at the end. So we can surmise that this item is selling pretty well. Okay, looks like the small medium, actually you could probably sell that one as well. And the price history is pretty solid. We can see when Amazon is on it, they're at 30, and it's a few dollars higher than that currently, right around the $37, $38 mark. So I'm not too worried about the price coming down too hard. And even if it did, and you had to match Amazon or something like that, I think you'd probably be okay. If we go out a little bit further, we can see that Amazon's not really on this listing very often. So I wouldn't be too worried about them hopping on this listing anytime soon. All right. Let's see here.
Go back to go back to the picture of it. You know what I like about this? This looks like a hat that you and I would wear.
It does look like a hat that we
wear.
Matter of fact,
and gray.
Right.
It's just a titanium dog. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
I think I may have seen a hat like this or similar to it while I was over in Daytona Beach a couple of weeks ago, and I almost grabbed it and picked it up.
It's the dog. It's the dog that sells me on it. Just
right?
like a little extra pizzazz there on the side. Doesn't mean anything. Just a dog. Everybody likes dogs.
Yeah, but I think this was a solid lead. And the other thing about this one particular lead is that it turns into multiple. If we're being honest, we've got different sizes. We've got some different colors we could take a look at. Matter of fact, the black one here, it was also profitable. I think when I looked at it. And then you've got this. I know this is a popular color. I see this a fair amount at the
That's a
beach.
sweet hat too.
Yeah, it's a good looking hat. I'm not a hunter,
Profitability aside, these are
you
some
know.
sweet hats. Me and
Yeah,
Chris are hat
Columbia makes
guys.
a solid products.
Yeah, those are looking good. I might go buy one.
Yeah. So, good find on this, especially since it could turn into multiple leads out of one, which is nice. Now, this next item, this one was found, I think, in a similar way. I believe it was found by also going out and grabbing data from Keepa. And I don't know who these people were. I saw the emails, but I didn't. They didn't ring a bell, and so I don't know the names of who found these. I know they're different folks. I am going to say that I think they're OA Challenge members because these are tactics like straight out of the OA Challenge.
Hey man, I
Uh,
don't want to. It just seems to be that the OA Challenge VIP people are the ones that are pumping out the most leads,
I
the
know.
best quality.
So this one is a youth backplate. And if you come over to Amazon, we can see that it's at $54.99 right now. We're coming into the right season for this. It's going to be football season here very, very soon. Friday night lights are going to be getting turned on, not very long from now. And so this will likely start selling even better in the next, I don't know, couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months, as kids are back in school and getting back on the gridiron. So right now, the buy box is at $54.99. You can see that RevSeller actually pulled $49.94, so we're going to pop that up to $54.99. This item is $22.99 from Academy. It's out of stock at the store in my local area, but it does show that it's in stock for home delivery. It's the youth size. I picked the youth size for the variation here, so youth in black. And if we look at this, the Keepa graph, we know it's selling. Matter of fact, let's go out a year here. And sure enough, looks like Amazon was on it last year, but that sales rank was sub 5,000, which is crazy fast. And if we go out a little bit further, so looks like Amazon could hop on this, but you would be able to sell this right now without too much of an issue. And solid profit. I don't see that price coming down until Amazon hops on the listing to a place where you'd be unprofitable. So I think this was also a really solid find. Let me hit up a couple more here and then we'll wrap things up here. This one, so we talk when we talk sourcing, lots of people talk about shoes, lots of people talk about clothing, beauty, personal care, supplements, that kind of stuff. The reason I pulled this one out is because you don't often hear people talking about selling bike tires on Amazon. Uh, but this one was a really good find. I actually think that this is another one where you'd have three leads out of this one lead instead of just one lead. But we're looking at 33.48 for this, whatever brand this is. It's a foldable tire of some sort. I never even knew that was a thing.
So
Um,
Schwalbe, big
Schwalbe,
brand.
yeah, right.
My
But if
favorite
we,
tire.
what I really want to know is it vulcanized rubber? But this item here, there are a couple of variations. I pulled the 700C by 28, which I'm guessing is millimeters. It's $80 on Amazon. It's been a pretty solid price. You can see that for a while here, for at least 3 months. It sells consistently. If we look at the variations, we can see which ones sell the best. The 700 by 28 sells the best at 47%. The 700 by 25 you could also sell. It would be a little less profit. And then there's one or two other that do sell as well. So you could get more than one lead out of this. And the profit was solid at $29.71 on a $33 buy cost. And this one was absolutely fantastic, in my opinion. Cargo Mart has the buy box, merchant fulfilled. I don't know if there are any FBA sellers on it at the moment. Doesn't look like it. It looks like it's all merchant fulfilled sellers. So you might have an opportunity here to send this into Amazon. It'd be awkward and weird to send in, but you might do pretty well with this. All right. And the last one, this one was just a straight bulk product search. The easiest search to run on Tactical Arbitrage. This was found over at CVS. It's a Neutrogena face mist. It looks like this is in stock for shipping. I added it to my cart. I could get it in there, no problem. I believe that this Save 20 coupon works. I didn't have time to double check, but I'm going to assume that it does. This is 3.4 ounces. Over here on Amazon, we see the same thing. This looks to be a match. This one has a suppressed buy box, okay? And I know a lot of people will turn away from suppressed buy boxes, but as we can see here, even while the buy box is suppressed, this is still selling. The number of sellers is moving up and down. The BSR is moving up and down. It does get better when that buy box becomes unsuppressed, of course, but it does not stop selling. And it was $17.99. There was a 20% coupon. So you're looking at $14.39. It looks like the one offer currently is at $44.97, although I see someone came in here at $37.90. But if you're competing with other FBA sellers and you are not even messing around with the FBM sellers, you should be able to price a little bit higher. So if you price it that to match FBA at $44.97, this one has over 100% ROI at $19 in net profit, which was solid. It does sell. Even it might be a little bit slower. You're going to wait for those buyers who are using the prime only filter and then only competing with one other seller, or you could drop the price and you've got room to make money even at a lower price if you want to compete with those FBM sellers as well. Yeah, I think there were some really good leads tonight. This one was probably one of my favorite ones just because this happens to be in a category that I like to sell in mostly. But yeah, great job, guys. I think everyone did a solid job tonight.
There's a little ASIN gadget shout out on the screen for Derek Lee, who I see him here. I heard
Nice.
there were free leads. I don't know, Derek, are there free leads? Because that was just 3 leads. Next time we do this, Derek will share some free leads. And what we should do, Chris, is we should just get everybody beforehand to agree that you have to submit X amount of leads. Everybody gets to see them at the end, and then you and I break them down. Everybody gets access to them, but we'd make it smaller group. So it's like actually one of the webinars where the first 50 people get in and there's no replay.
I like it. I like that.
That'd be sweet.
I like that a lot. Any question? Anybody have any questions before we wrap it up? Now, we don't have winners chosen tonight.
You're all winners.
That's true. You are all winners.
But one of you is going to be a cash prize, a big cash prize.
We still need to go through some of these and double check them and things like that. Missed is hazmat. That's okay. That hazmat is not a problem. You can merchant fulfill it. 2, I am hazmat approved. I could send these into Amazon, no problem. So maybe we take $2 off the profit there for inbound hazmat shipping, and we're at $17 in profit and still over 100% ROI. So that's okay with me. I'm not gonna ding anybody points on that one. Let's see here. Oh yeah, but if anybody has any questions, we can answer a few questions before we wrap it up for tonight. And then we'll be getting in touch with folks who won. Remember, first prize is $500. Second through 10th is $100, right?
Sounds right.
And then 11th through 25 is going to be $20. All right, here's a good question. What's the difference between Tactical Expander and Tactical Bucket? So Tactical Expander is the brainchild of the gentleman on my right. It is Nate McAllister's brainchild. It used to be Storefront Stalker Pro, And what Tactical Expander will do is you can go out and you can grab ASINs from storefronts, from searches on Amazon. So let's say you put in, I don't know, the keyword mashed potatoes. You can then pull all of the ASINs from mashed potatoes and run them through Tactical Arbitrage. If you get Tactical Expander full, you get the ASIN grabbing capability, but you also get the capability to go and scrape some sites that are not able to be supported by software like Tactical Arbitrage and grab all the price information and the URL information and the picture information from sites like Publix and Nike and Adidas and stuff like that. Tactical Bucket is more like the multi-tool. It has X paths so that you can add to Tactical Arbitrage. It's got store search buddy, so you could find all the sites that maybe sell cookies. It's got wholesale X paths that you can add if you have wholesalers. It's got, all kinds of stuff. It's just an absolute multi-tool that Javier created at Tactical Bucket. Let's see here.
It's also it's a more advanced tool. So if you're still getting used to TA or still getting used to even just the manual sourcing methods, don't feel like you have to rush into that. It's definitely on the pyramid of growth as far as getting the most out of your online arbitrage sourcing, but it's definitely not at the front of the of the things like Keepa and a Rev Seller type of tool beforehand.
Yeah. Let's see. Are we going to go live again to announce winners? I don't believe so.
We'll make a post group and tag the winners if they're in the group, and then you will be notified via email. Hopefully, I'm guessing that the winner is probably in the Facebook groups. Usually, they're people that are pretty active. It seems to be, but
yeah. So starting tomorrow, we're really going to be focusing on the Q4 group. So we probably will not have time to go live again, but we will make sure everybody gets paid.
Oh yeah, and last second plug, Q4 group, our early bird September month included ends tonight at midnight. If you are on our email list, we've bugged you about it, so you know what we're talking about. If you don't, then you don't read your emails, or we are in your junk folder, and you need to go get us out of that. But right. Yeah, the Q4 group starts tomorrow. It's going to be a ton of fun. It's going to be leads, training, and accountability. This will be the second year that we've done it with OA Challenge. With me and Chris, and we're partnering also with Superhero Sellers, and we are just very much lead focused and similar vibe that you get with the OA Challenge and the OA VIP group. So excited to see you guys in there. You'll probably get one more email from me and Chris.
Yes,
Susan, Vivian, they're in. Sweet. If you're in already, let us know in the comments. It's awesome. It's gonna be a good group. A lot of the same people from last year are in it. A lot of new faces too. It's going to be a ton of fun.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I know I bragged on Vivian a little bit last night, but I'm going to do it again. Okay. Maybe just give her a shout of appreciation, because I actually tried to talk her out of joining the Q4 group. Really? And she was like, you know what? I'm actually in. So Vivian, I appreciate the trust. All right. Let me quick fire answer some questions here, and then we'll call it an evening. That way Nate can get home to his family here. What percent does an FBA seller have over FBM? That is a difficult question to answer. Unfortunately, that kind of information is in a black box at Amazon, and they don't even allow me to figure that stuff out. But a lot of people will use the prime only filter when they're searching for products. I do this quite often because I want things to get to me quick. And if I don't have that turned on, we'll often find things that are, maybe a week out or something like that. I don't want that. But there are some people who just buy from whoever. And they'll buy the cheapest, or, there's also regional buy boxes. So sometimes a merchant fulfilled seller might get it over an FBA seller. It's difficult to really place a number on that, so I apologize. Let's see here. Tala, would be great if you give us your take on this. Two ASINs, one ranks under 25,000, the other 100 to 150,000. Similar preferred ROIs and costs, no buy limits, and what ratio would you buy these? Well, if the 25,000 is the similar ROI as the one that's ranked higher, I guess it would depend on how many competitive sellers there were before I could really give you an answer. If the one ranked at 25,000 had 400 competitive sellers, I actually probably would end up just passing right over it. And if the one that's ranked 100 to 150,000 has five competitive sellers, I would probably stick with those all day long. What method should we use to estimate our personal monthly sales for an item? I mean, you can use Tactical Arbitrage. Jungle Scout has a free tool. Some of the calculators have sales estimates. None of them are accurate. None of them are right. They're all just best guesses. So personally, I think that you build up a kind of an internal estimator over time as you sell things yourself. Because like I talked about just a minute ago for Talas, you might be able, if you're competing on something that has 400 competitive sellers, you might be able to sell five a month. But if you're competing on something that sells slower, but there's only five competitive sellers, you actually might be able to sell 25 or 50, even though it sells much, much slower. It's tough, and you just got to kind of build that out.
Yeah, it's a good
If I
question
want
though,
to,
because the
yeah,
the estimate of sales, people need to remember that that's for all, for the buy box, and it's not just for you specifically. So that's a good question. I think I'm guessing that's what the deeper part of the question was asking.
yeah, I think so. If I want to get ungated in Neutrogena, should I just buy 10 from CVS? So no, CVS. So 99.9% of the time, retailer receipts are not going to work. Uh, yeah, it's not the case when I started selling. Walmart got me ungated in just about everything, but that's not the case anymore. Now, every now and again, there will be that rule will be broken, but it is definitely not. It's it's not the usual thing. It's the outlier. Is there any way to know or have an idea if an item will get tanked before you purchase? And if it does, what is the best solution? There's no way to know for sure that a price is going to tank on a product. This is a dynamic marketplace where things are always changing. Number of sellers, demand, all those kind of things have an effect on the price of an item. And so, unless you know for sure that maybe this item was shared with 500 different people, you can't know for sure that something's going to tank. If it does tank, you have a couple of choices. One, you can just tank the price and get your money back and realize that having some of your capital back is better than waiting for the next 6 months to maybe hope for that item to come back. One of the things I suggest is to go out and learn about sunk cost fallacy. Read some good blog posts on. Nate, have you ever written a post on the sunk cost fallacy?
So I always tell people that the one thing that I got out of my degree in economics was to not cry over spilled milk. And that applies so much into selling. So basically the sunk cost being it's already gone, you might as well take what you can get. So that's honestly where like Amazon to Amazon flips come from. In many cases, it's just somebody trying to liquidate, trying to get their product back. I don't know if I've written specifically about it, but I mention it all the time. It's a
I
very
think
important topic. It's hard to accept as a seller too, when you like have it in
absolutely.
your mind that you're making this money and you're like, oh, I'll just hold out. It's like, yeah, but the value of turning that capital into product that will move. Yeah.
Yeah, you should, dude. You should write like a really in-depth post on that. It would be super helpful, I think.
Yeah, I'll
Uh,
think about that.
all right,
Somebody says, how do you join the Q4 group? Do you have a link? It's from YouTube if you want to put a link on there.
I'll drop a link in the. I totally forgot to drop a link in the details, but I will drop a link. If you're on my email list, I do have another email scheduled to go out here pretty shortly. And I'll probably make one last post in FBA Today if you're watching in FBA Today.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Somebody did comment. It was a question about, I signed up for Q4 this afternoon. I received the receipt on my email, but nothing else yet. I can't see who that person is. It just says Facebook user. And
So here's
I
what I
don't
was
see
going
an
to do to
activity
fix that,
there.
because we've had this issue a couple of times. And so tomorrow morning, once I get up, I'm going to send everybody in the Q4 who joined the Q4 group an email with links to everything, because tomorrow night we're going to have a kickoff webinar. And everyone's going to want to be there for that. So I'll make sure that you do have an email tomorrow. It's going to come from Chris@cleartheshelf.com or support@oachallenge.com. So if you want to go and whitelist either of those emails, that would be great. But I'll have something for you. You can also email me at either one of those emails, and I'll get back to you personally by tomorrow. So
yeah. Everything in there will be, somebody asked if it was going to be archived. So all the content will be in the group. I believe at the end last year, we just archived the group. We didn't delete it or anything, but the living, breathing part of the group is the leads and the ability to ask questions, engage, and get specific Q4 related things answered. The biggest thing is that Q4 is just so important, and the speed of how you get your answers to important questions is so much more valuable, more important in Q4. So we like to kind of facilitate that inside the group, just to make it that you can optimize your Q4 experience, whether it's your first or your 10th. We think that it's good for everybody to consider it.
yeah.
Somebody said that the Schwab lead looks like a possible mismatch from the images, but it's hard to tell.
It is. I'll double check it. It could be, but I'll double check it. How many people will be on the list? We don't know how many people are going to join yet, but we make sure that things are taken care of, so that leads don't tank and things like that.
Yeah, that's the number
and then,
one. The number one question is a very, very reasonable question.
Yeah.
What we tell people is try to find somebody who was in the group last year and ask them what their experience with it was. There's a lot of different things that go into lead saturation, and it's completely at top of mind for us because we don't want to give a lead that worst case scenario everybody jumps on. But there's so many other variables that go inside of a lead. Like the quantity available to purchase. It's not like every single seller is going and buying every single lead. Even if they wanted to, a lot of them are limited. We just have never had that issue with saturation, with few exceptions. We sent out an email kind of explaining it in a little bit more detail, that hopefully explain that part better than just one or two little sentences here or there on Facebook. But it's definitely it's definitely something that we keep in mind. But we are very confident that it's not an issue for our members. Vivian says, have members experienced an uptick in storefront stocking from being in the group? We don't actually share storefronts. So the way that would happen, I know, because they're all selling the same item. I think that people who are doing storefront stocking are probably at a more advanced level of stocking anyway. Than that, they're stocking the stuff that they know are public OA leads, and they're finding other OA sellers, other RA sellers. No one's ever reported that, but it's hard for them to. It'd be hard to really quantify that unless you're just like, why is everything I'm selling tanking? But again, there's just a lot that goes into that, so it's definitely not as cut and dry as that. But we definitely don't share storefronts if that is at all a concern. The only way that people could storefront would be based off of checking the products that everybody's selling. But for the most part, I mean, there's millions of items. It would still be very difficult for anybody to do that.
Exactly. All right. I think that's it, guys. We're going to wrap it up. We're going to call it a night. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us. I appreciate you guys participating. And I hope, I wish we could give everybody $500, but unfortunately, the budget this time for us just wasn't quite that big. But This was a great little challenge. I know we'll definitely do this again, but probably not until next year. And thanks for being here. And Nate,
Yeah.
thanks for making this happen, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you, Tactical Arbitrage, if you are watching in your
Yeah,
as your whatever. Appreciate that, and we'll see you guys. Most of you, a lot of you, in the Q4 group. Chris,
absolutely.
you share that group, that link on YouTube, guys. If you're watching on YouTube, again, be sure to subscribe to Chris. Best OA RA guy out there as far as legitimate, helpful advice for growing your business, finding more products to sell.
All right. Take it easy, everybody.
Bye.